silhouette photography with Grant Stoker. Now, like any kind of photography, you want to start by gaining some inspiration and researching what you're going to do. So with silhouettes, you want to get specific. For example, if I'm going to do a silhouette portrait, I would look up silhouette portraits on Pinterest or Google Images or some photography site, see what people are doing out there and gain some inspiration, plan it out a bit. It means the next step we want to do is plan your time and place that you're going to do for the shoot. So with that, this is essential because the lighting of your location and your time are going to affect your silhouette directly. So you want to make sure if you're outside, you account for when the sun's going down and leave yourself enough time to get set up and get a shoot going before that happens. If you're indoors, you want to account for what window light you'll have if you're going to be using that. You also want to account for your artificial light, which leads us to step number 3, selecting a backlighting source. Now with that, again, you can use natural light like the sunset, anything like window light, but you can also use, like in this picture, I have a couple of 110 lumen flashlights with plastic bags taped around them. That way it diffuses the light a bit. I use that to underlight my subject. You can also use photography lighting, external flashes. You just want to make sure that you know how those are going to react as well in your situation at that time. Next, you want to choose a foreground material. Now this is optional, especially if you're outside, but indoors I find it's really fun to hang something in front of your subject to get really cool ambient silhouettes out of it. The industry standard for this is called translume. It's a plastic sheeting. It goes for 38 to 48 bucks or so. You can hang that in front of your subject. For those of us who don't like spending money right off though, I actually used a plastic shower curtain for this shoot that cost me $8 at Walmart. That I find it's helpful to go for the frosted looking one instead of the clear one, and that'll give you cooler pictures. Then next step is to position your model. This is going to be a little trickier than normal because most models are used to just posing and taking good pictures. With silhouettes, you want to make sure they know how they're coming across in the medium, and they're going to be casting a stronger shadow when you put them closer to the foreground, and then they're going to be casting a weaker, fuzzier shadow when they're farther away. So just want to make sure they know how they're coming across and that you have a plan for that to help position them correctly. Then after that, you want to adjust the camera if you're outdoors for the background. So if you're shooting a sunset silhouette, you want to adjust for the sky, not the sun directly, but just over to the side for the sky, so you have a crisp background and a silhouetted subject in that picture. If you're indoors, that means you want to go ahead and adjust for the foreground, not necessarily your subject. Now the final step is showing feedback shots. This is really important with the model especially because as they're posing, you may not know exactly how they're coming across, and if you can show them some feedback of how they're doing, what it actually looks like through that medium, they'll be able to help work with you and understand what kind of pictures you're going for and what they're creating. So as you go through these 7 steps for